Hey there, with Agri Drones. Today we're doing a hillside demo and comparison between the DJI Agri T100 and the EAVision J150. We're going to be doing the exact same settings, same height, same speed, the correct terrain following and radar settings for each drone in the exact same field. We're going to be recording this from the air and out in the tripod. Really what we want to see here is what's the difference between these two drones in terms of how smoothly they follow terrain, battery life on small fields like this, and efficiency. Okay, so let's go through the settings on the T100 first. So that's what we're flying first. The field here we have mapped out. The task area is about the field's about 10.5 acres. It's gonna be spraying about 10.18 acres. On the task settings, we got 2 gallons per acre, 300 microns, 45.3 feet per second. Whenever we talk to operators who've run the T100, these are kind of the settings they said to run. Actually, they said to run a bit slower if you're doing hills. They said it will do hills at 45.3 feet per second, which is the same speed as what we're running in the J150 at. 10 feet high, 32-foot route spacing. We have our terrain following type set to hill, and we have our obstacle bypassing turned off. That way it should go up faster and down faster rather than having to try to decide to go around the hill or not. The hill's about maybe 15, 20 degree slopes in spots. So we're taking off each drone from the same spot, and I think that's it. Before I take off, we'll check our sensor settings in here so you can see these. Check our radar settings. We've left these unchanged. All right. Both drones should be taking off with about 18.5 gallons or 70 liters in them. I'm gonna get a little closer so I can watch this thing follow the terrain. So both of these drones have lidar. Both of these drones have radar. Of course, the lidar and the radar are a bit different on both of them. It's like we've already got problems. Speed's at 12 feet per second, height's at 7 feet high. See if it picks up on top of the hill. Yeah, there you can hear it. Okay, so now it's picking up. So as soon as it crested the hill, it picked up. I'll turn on my camera here. Now we're back down to 25 feet per second. Must be a slight hill on that side too. Looks like going up the hill is not a strong suit at 45 feet per second on the T100. We ran this hill yesterday. It was with the T100. It was getting close to dark, and reading the manual on the T100, it did say that in low light conditions, it cannot use the camera to detect terrain. It only uses the radars. So we thought that maybe it was a light issue, and it seems like this is telling us that it's not a light issue. It seems like the terrain following just on the T100 is not tuned that good to follow the terrain at speed. It goes down pretty quick, it looks like, as it comes into this hill here. We're getting down to 13 feet per second. And this, I'm just going to confirm here that we are on hill mode. We are on hill mode. Okay. That's probably going to kill our battery efficiency quite a bit. You know, if you fly faster, then you get the tank emptied faster, then you have more battery life in the drone. For small fields like this, that's extremely important because you have so many turns back and forth. I mean, looking at the map here, you can see we have probably about 10 or 12 turns before we empty our tank on that far corner up there. So speed is going to be a critical issue in terms of getting the tank emptied out. It looks like our height gets up to maybe about 14, 15 feet as it comes down, but it doesn't stutter as it goes down. It doesn't really stutter as it goes up either. It just really slows down a lot. And I don't want to mess anything up, so I'm not going to change any settings. I would like to try out, taking off these radar settings here. We tried these last night. We tried taking off both those settings, and it was the same as what you're seeing here today. So I don't think that would actually do anything in the light as opposed in the darkness. We may try that later. The AI detection is pretty cool if you guys saw that on the screen there, but it saw those trees with the camera in front of it as it came down to the bottom of the hill, and it put little icons, caution icons on there. The camera quality on the T100 is awesome. And plus you can go look left, look right, look forward, look back, behind the drone, and even down, straight under the drone, while you're looking forward there. Let's check out this is the point cloud map that the lidar makes on the T100. And I would think that maybe it would use this to enhance the terrain following, because, it's supposed to be mapping out the point cloud with the lidar. We're getting up to about 20 feet right there coming down. So you'd think this next pass, since I already had mapped out the previous one, and we have the terrain right there on the screen, should be faster, but we're not getting any faster. We're still down to about 12 feet per second climbing this hill. You can see there, it's detecting the hill in front of it as an obstacle. There we have that red right there in front of it. So it's detecting the hill, it looks like as an obstacle. You can see on the radar right there, it's showing obstacle in front of it, about 34 feet. And that's where, like on the EA side, when you come into your radar settings, you turn off your obstacle bypassing on EA, then it knows anything in front of it is not necessarily an obstacle per se, but it's just terrain. So it knows that to bypass the obstacles in front of it, it will go up, which is what this setting here should do as well on the T100. So either it is doing that and it's just not as effective, or it's not doing that. Yeah, we're going to be returning to home here pretty quick, 20% battery. Pretty sure my battery's set. Yep, there we go, low battery level. Okay, here we're coming home. All right, we'll back out of the way. The turns when the T100 comes in are pretty cool. They'll do this spin turn right there and face the same direction it took off from. And you can bring it down pretty quick, which is important when you got low battery level. Okay, so that flight there was 6 minutes, 8 seconds. We covered 6 acres. We used about 12 gallons. We've got about 5.3 gallons left in the drone. We landed with 13% battery temp at 117. Okay, there's our benchmark. What we're gonna do now is we're just gonna go ahead and set the T100 off to the side. We have a really small landing pad out here, so muddy. And then we're gonna take the J150, put it in the same spot, and run the same exact field. All right, now we're gonna run the 150. So we'll run through our settings real quick. The J150, the EAVision system, you do your terrain following settings actually in the edit field side, so it actually saves to the field, not just to the drone. So we're just gonna do flat field. We do flat field on basically every field, even slopes like this, because it doesn't seem to matter on the EA system. Okay, select the field, should be the same field. We'll double check our settings up here, the top right, perception settings, which is radar settings. Our bypass is turned off, just like on the T100. And we'll run a 2-gallon rate. Height of 10 feet. Speed 45.2. We'll turn our bypassing on the way in and out of the field. Route set to 32 feet, just like on the T100. Auto spray off, so it just turns in the corners, or it doesn't spray on the corners. And yeah, that all looks good. Looks almost identical to the T100. Load it up, and we have 18.5 gallons in the tank, just like the T100. Fresh battery. Okay, ready to go. We'll back up and launch. Our flow meter might not be working on this drone. We have lots of 150s and may have grabbed the wrong one with a broken flow meter, so we'll see if it works. The T100 definitely has a quicker launch, which probably helps with battery life to get up and out to the field a bit faster. Okay, we're starting at the bottom of the hill here. 45 feet per second, 10 feet high is our settings. And right there we are at 40 feet per second at the top of the hill. I mean, it's pretty easy to see right off the bat that the terrain following speed and accuracy on the J150 is quite a bit better than the T100. That's the kind of a hallmark of EAVision is their terrain following. And whenever EAVision started operating and making drones, they really made them for specialty crops in mountainous terrain in Southeast Asia. And so to do that, you have to have really, really good terrain following. And that ports over very well to a field like this, where we have small fields, high slopes. There you can see our height is staying very, very close, even as it goes down the hill and up the hill to that 10 feet. We get down to maybe about 8.5 and as high as maybe about 12 at the bottom of the hill. And our speed stays up as well. Looks like flow meter might actually be working on this drone, which is a good thing. If flow meters don't work, if they break for some reason on the EA system, it will bypass it automatically. And it'll give you an alert, and you can bypass it manually as well, which is a nice feature because it's really frustrating to have one little component like that shut the whole operation down. So the fact that EA made that bypassable is nice. So you can continue operation and just do basically a manual override. The camera, like I said on the 100, is quite a bit better. We don't have AI image recognition on the EAVision 150, and the camera feed, the quality of the imagery is better on the T100. And T100 has active stabilization, meaning if the drone pitches forward, the camera doesn't pitch down, it still looks forward. Whereas on the J150 here, you can see as the drone slows down, the camera pitches up. And then as it speeds up here, whenever it gets into the acceleration, you see the camera starts to pitch down a little bit. You still have gimbal control right here to look up and look down, but it doesn't have active stabilization. You can see at the end there, it does pick up a little bit as it comes down the hill. That's basically to help slowing down. So the J150, whenever it comes into the end of a field, it'll actually pick up about 2 feet in altitude as it slows down to kind of help slowing down a bit faster without eating up as much battery. You can see our radar, it actually is picking up that hill to the right side of it. It kind of slopes up there. It picks up the hill as an obstacle, but we have our bypassing turned off. If you look in the perception settings, just like the T100, bypassing is turned off, which means that if it sees something in front of it, as in an obstacle, then it doesn't necessarily react like an obstacle to go around it. It just goes up and over it, which is what turning bypassing off should actually do on all drones, meaning it won't deviate off of the course. It will just go up and over to clear that obstacle. Like right here in front of it on the screen, you can see we've got the obstacle in front of us is actually a hill, and so it knows that, and so it just goes up the hill. The lidars on these drones are also different. The T100 lidar is more of a survey grade type lidar. It's kind of an omnidirectional survey grade type lidar. Doesn't see that far in front of it, but it's really good at picking up, objects kind of in all directions around it at near distances. So the T100 actually uses radar as a primary source for terrain following and obstacle avoidance. Looking in the manual, you can actually see this. Whereas the J150 radar is the secondary source. So it has two radars, one on the front, one on the back. But the lidar is a automotive grade lidar. It has a very long range as far as what it can detect in front of it, and a high level of points that it can detect. And so it uses the lidar as the primary source for forward obstacle detection and terrain following. We'll check our battery settings here. We'll do 20%, just like we did with the T100. We didn't think the J150 was going to be very good at small fields because it's so big, obviously. But when you have really good terrain following like this, then that helps a lot when you're doing these small fields as far as battery efficiency and covering more acres in one tank load. There's a really steep part right over there. We've flown this field a bunch, so we kind of know where the steep parts are at, and on the other far side over there is really steep. All right, so there we've got our return to home setting just kicked on. I have about 3 gallons left in the tank. We'll back up and let the drone come in. I've got the terrain following turned on the 150, so you can see it actually follows the terrain down the hill as it comes home. You can change this in the settings, of course. All right, let's check. We got 7.3 acres covered. Flight op time was about 7 minutes, it says. We have about 3.5 gallons left in the tank. So you can see just that little bit more speed up and down these hills helps a lot in terms of flying off more payload on these small fields with high slopes. And everything on both these drones is exactly the same, including takeoff, battery percentage, flight speed, settings, everything. So having better terrain following definitely helps in these small fields with these big drones where battery life is a concern. All right, we're gonna run a lot more tests with the J150 and the T100 in a lot of different scenarios, and we'll keep you guys tuned. But I think I would run a J150 on a small field like this over a T100. But you guys have the results here for yourself. Let us know if you guys have any questions. Thanks. See ya.